She broke a little boy's leg while he was misbehaving in class and then lied about what happened.
Police say when the boy's mother picked him up, he was shivering. He urinated on himself and was in pain.
Hey, it's iCkEdMeL, and there was this crazy story that I heard the other day. This happened here in South Florida, Boca Raton, a daycare called Early Learning Academy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this story, and I'm also going to tell you my experience. One time when I was there, what I saw a teacher doing at a different location.
According to police, the boy's leg was fractured. He was only 3 years old.
Can you imagine you go to pick up your child from the daycare and you see your child like in a corner or something, crying, shivering, urinated on themselves, scared, right? What a horrible feeling. And to feel or know that they told you everything was fine and that wasn't true. According to the daycare and the staff, the teacher lied to them and that the teacher was the only one in the classroom. Now, at 7:15 a.m., the mother dropped off the boy. This was January 10th. At 11 a.m., the father got a call saying that the son injured himself by kicking a metal chair. They said that he had like a bump on his shin, so he didn't think anything of it. The mother comes later that afternoon at 3:45, and she observed her son sitting down, and he appeared to be in a lot of pain. He was shivering, had urinated on himself, and had not eaten. Now, the teacher's name is Estefany Acosta.
Estefany Acosta, a teacher in trouble, and now facing charges after police say she broke a 3-year-old boy's leg inside the Early Learning Academy last week in Boca Raton.
Now, the boy said that he got hurt when the teacher, Estefany, sat on him because he was misbehaving. According to the mother's child, he was still in pain, couldn't stand. Later that night. He was taken to West Boca Medical Center where he was diagnosed with a fractured right leg, bro. Isn't that insane? That is insane. I'd be infuriated. And how did nobody go? Nobody else, no other teachers went in that room? They don't have any teacher aides. It's just one teacher in the room and nobody's looking at the cameras, I guess. Now, the owner of the place said that initially the Acosta told them that the boy was misbehaving and he suffered a leg injury when he kicked a metal chair. However, school administrators told Acosta that they have cameras, and that's when she got nervous and changed her story, and she claimed that he could have been injured when she accidentally fell on him.
Police also telling us surveillance cameras inside that classroom showed what really happened.
So here's what police said after they reviewed the surveillance, and this account of what happened is relatable to the story I'm about to tell you. What I saw another teacher doing in one of the other locations of this academy thing, and I reported it. My daughter no longer goes there, but I did report the incident. I don't know if they took it serious. They didn't seem like they took it serious, but police said here that they reviewed surveillance of the incident, and it showed Acosta asking the boy to sit down with the other students. He refused. Acosta physically made him sit down, then he immediately stood back up. Based upon his body language and movements, it appeared the child was very upset and continued to be non-compliant. A police report said. Police said at that point in the video, Acosta grabbed the child by the arm, lifted him off the ground, and carried him across the room.
Police say surveillance video shows Acosta grabbing the boy by the arm, then putting him face down on the floor when her knee landed on his leg.
Police said Acosta then put the child on the floor face down and bent over him. It appeared that her right knee landed on top of the child's right leg. A minute later, the child could be seen holding his right leg. When authorities interviewed Acosta, she claimed that the child was misbehaving and spitting on the carpet and himself. Acosta admitted to carrying the boy across the room and putting him face down on the carpet. Acosta admitted that the manner in which she picked up the child was inappropriate, dangerous, and could have led to him being seriously injured. She continually denied causing the leg injury.
The owner of the daycare told investigators when she questioned Acosta, the 24-year-old said the boy was misbehaving and hurt his leg when he kicked a metal chair.
The teacher's also saying that she denied telling the Early Learning Academy staff that the child had received the injury because he had kicked a chair. So she's saying that they're lying and they're saying that she's lying. But the camera shows, she was on top of him and he was holding his leg after, so something she did obviously with this child caused this problem. Was it something that was try to be covered up? I don't know. I've heard of stories where places cover up things, daycare, schools, they're going to try to protect themselves, obviously.
This mom says her son just started here on Monday.
Definitely upsetting to hear. I hadn't heard of it until now.
I was so surprised to see this matter because all are friendly.
So this next part, it was kind of interesting, right? And I want you to pay attention to something. So he said, they checked the school is licensed, which is something as a parent you should always check. They also said that there was no major incidents, which I'm curious what the other small incidents were. And lastly, he injected there that they have good reviews, so everything's A-okay.
And it does not have any major violations. It also does have positive reviews online.
Now, of course, you always want to check the reviews for something that you're going to get involved in, you're going to purchase, you're going to get into, your child's going to go to the school. Of course, you're going to look up the reviews. Personally, when I look at the reviews, I also try to take a look at the bad reviews. And it's good to look at all the reviews and go inside and take a walk. Maybe go a couple of times, show up on a random day, show up at a random time, and take a tour and decide for yourself. Now, the thing with reviews, just because something has 100% good reviews doesn't mean it's actually factual. I've heard of stories of people buying reviews, manipulating reviews. I've heard of stories where certain businesses will offer certain people discounts for 5-star reviews. I've heard of that with daycares too. So, don't just judge off of that. Definitely go inside, study it, take a look for yourself, type in that daycare in a Google search in the news section and see if anything pops up. Anything could happen. Just because you take precautions doesn't mean that nothing's ever going to happen to you, but at least you know that you tried, and you should at least check. Now, my experience at one of the locations of the Early Learning Academy, the school, the one I went to, looks nice. Looks really nice from the outside. It's very, one of the things I didn't like was that at the particular location, it seemed like a lot of people could either walk in, walk out very easily. Like if one person were to go through and then just a bunch of people walk through, it'd be easy to get through the secondary door. You could just walk past people. Sometimes they weren't looking. That was one of the things I didn't like. But the school was nice. There was one day I went there, and if you're a longtime subscriber, you might have heard of this story already. But I went there one day, and the classrooms are connected. They're separated but connected, like the walls. But there's like a glass window in between, so you can actually look into the other room. So one day, I'm looking in the other room from where I'm standing in my daughter's room, and I see a teacher, and she looks like she's getting frustrated. Okay, it looks like she's getting angry with a student, telling him something. It looks like maybe he wasn't paying attention. He didn't seem aggressive, but the lady was. At a certain point, she got frustrated and almost maybe like was kind of described here, but it's different. She picked up the kid, but like really angrily, picked him up, brought him by like the table and like boom, like put him down, like hard, and then it seemed like she still wasn't getting the response she wanted. So a couple of times I see her go like this, like jerking, like really trying to like kind of scare him and intimidate him. And it was really disturbing to me because I was like, this is an adult acting like this. And I'm not saying watching multiple kids like that is easy at all. But what I'm saying is when you get to this point where she's clearly upset, like she has no control of the situation, where do things go from there? What's next? And I don't remember particularly if she did anything else to this child. I mean, I remember she was like really kind of in his face, but she didn't like physically hurt him. And then the thing what happened was, and what caught me kind of like really is that like she turned around and then she saw that I saw what happened, but she didn't know how much of it I saw. So what she did is as soon as she made eye contact with me, she started doing this, and it's like she went to go turn on the music and she was pretending it was all a game and they were playing. Like she completely flipped. And that's what's so crazy about this, because there's that one parent that's like, oh, I can't believe this happened, and she was so nice.
I was so surprised to see this matter because all are friendly.
There's people, or I mean everybody, anybody I guess, can flip at a second. You might be seeing a completely different person when you walk in there as a parent with your child, and it could be something else. So that was just my experience. And when I Googled some of the daycares around here, when I searched this story, a couple of other daycares came around, and I was like, oh, wow, some of the stories that's going on in some of these other daycares, it's crazy. And it's a very stressful job. This woman, Estefany, for the Boca Raton teacher, she was 24 years old. According to these people, she was working there since November 2019. So she hadn't been there that long. And with my experience, when I went to go report it, I went to the front desk because I was infuriated. It wasn't even my kid, But I was like, if that was happening to my child, I would want a parent to stand up and say something, report that. So I went and reported that, and they were kind of like, yeah, we'll talk to her. So I don't know if they did or not. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But then my thought was like, damn, my child's going to that class next. And what if that lady knows that I reported her? Is she going to mistreat my child? And maybe that's a reason for somebody else not reporting something, So anyway, my tips for daycare, and, there's never nothing foolproof. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but definitely check if the school is licensed. Talk to the teachers, obviously take a tour, come in there, talk to your teacher, see how they are. Because you can sometimes tell how people are. Like if they're, you go and ask a question, they're very rushy. They don't have time for you. Like push you off. Sometimes people's demeanor just bleeds through. You can see how they are. They can't even hide it. Go in there a couple times, talk to the teacher. If you have a day off, pop in randomly for lunch and see what's going on, and maybe talk to the other parents. I talk to the other parents sometimes. When I see them, I say hi, whatever. They have events. Sometimes I'll talk to the parents for a little bit. But that's a crazy story, man. I mean, a fracture. I think a fracture is different from broken. They're saying broken, but the lady must have put her leg down into the kid's leg really hard. And this is what I talk about too, as far as corporal punishment. Like people like this that are angry, where do you stop? Right? Where do you stop with these people? If you're not in control of yourself when it comes to dealing with kids, and it's got to be hard, that job. They're probably underpaid. Where does it stop? Comment below. Take care of yourselves, and peace.